Good morning, everyone.
Howdy.
Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, and today is Boxing Day, so happy Boxing Day for you that celebrate that.
Yep.
And thank you so much for all of the cards and gifts. We appreciate it very much. And we want to thank Tessa for the gift. Very much appreciated. Now, there's a funny story behind this, and all of you who have been with this channel from the beginning know that years ago we used to always have Eminems when Mikey was going to do a rant. And it became the joke of the community. And because we started gaining weight and my health and stuff, we had to cut back on the M&Ms. And so we quit doing that. But Tessa sent us M&Ms. Thank you very much. We will eat them.
Yes. And it became such a joke from time to time that one would fall onto the floor while I'm having one of my rants, one of my M&M rants, and would fall into the register. So I'd take the register off and go down and get the M&M and eat it.
Yeah, the heater vent. We found M&Ms down in the heater vent, and we'd have to go get them because they would melt when the furnace would come on, and he'd eat them. They'd be all full of dirt and dust bunnies, and he would eat them.
Yeah, there was, I mean, it got so, people got so used to seeing the M&M placement that people were even asking us to contact M&M, whoever the company is at this point, and see if they'll endorse us with that Mikey M&M rant.
And one year somebody sent us a gift of a whole box of M&Ms of different colored ones, but they had Mike and Kimmy printed on them. So that was, a very special gift also. We ate all of those too. I meant to save some, but we ate them all.
So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
So as we get going here, Kimmy, the last video we did about TDS, Total Dipshittery and Watchtower, we forgot a very important one.
What one's that?
Well, remember, they joined the Wild Beast. They became members of the United Nations for 10 years before they get caught. And when they get caught, they come up with a lame-ass excuse. Well, we only joined to get the library card. Total dipshits.
Now they are members in Europe.
Yeah.
Of an NGO, so that they can file grievances with, the OSCE and the UN and some of these other groups that are all connected.
But even though you say that, they're filing grievances with the Satan.
I know.
Satan owns the organization, and they're filing grievances with Satan. Why aren't they filing grievances with Jehovah?
Yeah. Now, stay tuned until the end because we have a court case that we need to do an update on about a JW who, a nasty person. And it also involved the sheriff's department in Fresno County raiding a Kingdom Hall to get records and evidence. So stay tuned for that. So
what's the thrust of this video again?
Well, let me ask you, do you remember a while back, someone in the community, we had done a video and posted documents, letters and stuff, and they went after not only us, but Atlantis and Petra, and said that these documents were over-sensationalized and that we were simple-minded? Do you remember who that was?
Yeah. Another guy that suffers from TDS, total dipshittery, Mark ODonnell.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about him. And I usually don't like to talk about these people that abuse us and stuff, but this is important because there's a valuable lesson in here for all of us. Atlantis trained us of what we can post, what we can do and say publicly to protect us.
And what's interesting is we've tried to convey those warnings to other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and they won't listen. And then guess what happens? Watchtower goes after them, Jason Wynn, and gets sued. And then these same people are begging for you, the community, to give them money so they can fight Watchtower.
Well, I would imagine that if O'Donnell loses this court case, he's going to be asking the community in a GoFundMe to help him out.
Lloyd O'Donnell. Lloyd O'Donnell. They're one and the same, but yet some people just will not open their eyes to this fact.
Yeah. Now, I want to thank John for alerting me to this, and he had sent me a link to a video that had been taken down or was no longer public, and so I really didn't quite know what was going on. But I want to thank the friend, thank you, sweetie, very much, who I had mentioned what the rumor I had heard, and they went and got the court documents for me. I appreciate it very much. Now, this is public information. It's on Pacer Monitor, and you can get a free trial to this website and get these documents. You just have to scroll down and on the little PDF symbol and get the documents. And I will put the link down below to this. Borough Home Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses versus Mark O'Donnell. Now, I just want to say that the reason we keep, till we're blue in the face, talking about this is look at the black eye this is going to give the community.
Well, yeah.
Watchtower keeps accusing us of being apostates, telling half-truths and lies. Well, how many in this community have committed crimes? And this is crime. This is several crimes, and we'll get into that.
Well, look at Lloyd Evans. Look at the black eye this community has suffered when we all find out he's taking money and he's going to Thailand buying prostitutes. Oh, excuse me. Let me correct this. Dating prostitutes. Dating sex workers. Yeah. TDS.
All right, like I said, I'll put the link down below to this so you can check this out yourself. It's case number 2:24-CV-00304. And you can go through all of this, and it was filed on January 22nd, 2024, and it looks like it's going to a trial hearing. Now, I want to mention that in, one of the documents here, in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, there's a whole long list of all the congregations as plaintiffs versus Mark O'Donnell, defendant. Now, there's some things that are redacted in here, but I want to go to page 2 and read this so that you can understand, and then we'll discuss what these charges or what the complaint is. Number 3, on February 16, 2023, O'Donnell secretly tapped into a confidential Microsoft Teams meeting between representatives of the 11 congregations, I would assume elders, and 2 of their attorneys. Now, first I want to mention that not only is this wiretapping, and that's what the statute is they're using, this is illegal wiretapping without permission, and this also violates the client-attorney confidentiality privilege. It's just as strong as the church and clergy, or the clergy and penitent privilege. It's illegal. This is a crime.
But this isn't the first time this has happened. Remember, they did a documentary a while back on one of those little go nowhere, do nothing YouTube channels or channels, whatever, where he admitted to being involved with stolen documents out of a Kingdom Hall.
Yeah. And
black eye.
Yeah, and we heard Pennsylvania grand jury investigation that this really hurt their investigation and hurt him from being a viable witness.
So it makes you wonder, who does the guy really work for?
Yeah.
Him and Lloyd, they want to keep giving this community black eyes. Ask yourself, who are they working for?
Well, even if they're not working for anybody, they are narcissistic, want to be Mr. Popular and be the go-to guys, and this information needs to get out no matter what.
No.
These are crimes. That's why we keep warning everybody. You have to be so careful. And yeah, you may get the password into the secret meetings, but you don't go public with it because page 3, number 4, O'Donnell, who is not a Jehovah's Witness and was not invited to the meeting, promptly disclosed parts of the meeting on YouTube and Reddit.com.
No.
And some people sent me clips from the podcast he did with a certain YouTube channel. I'm gonna spare them.
Yeah, you probably should just spare them. But again, this is why Kim and I, we don't want to do this stuff no more with the community at large. Because it's too easy to record something and take it out of context also.
Yeah, and in number 5, they list the statutes that he violated. By engaging in these actions, O'Donnell violated Title III of the Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968 and the Pennsylvania Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act 5701, Pennsylvania tort law. See, and this is the thing, is this hurts the community so much now. All those documentaries that he was in and he wanted to be the savior, in one of them they even called him like the historian and journalist and whistleblower and messiah to the community. No, he's hurt this community. And I don't care. If you don't like us, tough. We've been trying to warn people. You don't do this because you just gave Watchtower and all these congregations the ammunition.
Well, not only that, is you're not just dealing with a religion. You're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And you are not going to take them down. All they're going to do is just re-identify and remerge somewhere else later, thus the 7-headed dragon. You may be able to cut one head off, maybe 2, but they're still alive and they're still going to exist as long as there's people out there that will not study, will not research, and think for themselves. They're fair game for an organization, for a corporation like the Watchtower Babel Crap Society.
Yeah. And wiretapping, which is named in this suit, is a crime. And if you don't think it's a crime, just do a little bit of research of what they did to President Nixon on wiretapping.
Watergate. But let's not forget what ultimately happened. Nixon was given a presidential pardon. If this knucklehead is found guilty, I wouldn't expect a presidential pardon because this guy is nobody in the world.
Yeah. Now, I want to mention that what he did to hurt the grand jury investigation, remember I mentioned earlier that he hurt that, and is he did a deposition for the grand jury investigation before the grand jury. He took that deposition and made it public and gave it to a media outlet. And they did an article about this without permission from the grand jury.
I gotta be number one. I gotta
get this out. But see, that's the thing, is if you are getting testimony to a grand jury or a prosecutor or state attorney, all of the above, or a court, you do not release this information until you have permission. Now this is public information, the link I have. You can get these documents yourself. It's public information.
Yep.
If it's public information, it's out there. Now, the difference, we may get like annual meeting streams or, convention streams and stuff like that. The elders and circuit overseers in Watchtower send the password and information and links out to all the JWs and elders and stuff. It's public. Basically public within their group.
Well, there's no one having a secret conversation with lawyers either.
But, like I was just going to mention, when it is a client, 11 congregations, and their attorneys, like I said, this is protected by the law. This is client-attorney confidentiality privilege. Even the FBI and cops, if you watch any forensic shows, they don't even interfere with that, confidential conversation.
Well, and you got to stop and think about it. Even if you want to self-identify as an independent press journalist, an independent journalist does not give you the right to violate the client attorney privilege and then try to use the First Amendment freedom of the press. Because even when those that have the freedom of the press and do this, they still get nailed. Who just got nailed for $15 million for saying something really stupid and ridiculous about a RAPE charge? Oh, that's right, George Stephanopoulos. Snuffleupagus. Just because you have the First Amendment does not give you the right to release this type of confidential information. Who's the simpleton now?
Yeah, he called us, said we like to over-sensationalize and that we're simple-minded. I would never do this, so who's the simple-minded person now?
Well, but see, they become simple-minded when they want to become number one.
Well, their egos get in the way.
That's right, their egos literally get in the way.
Yeah, because that is what he's claiming, that since he's a journalist, that he can do this under the First Amendment. No, this was a private meeting, like a video conference. This is wiretapping. When you hack into a private meeting, this is against the law. This is a crime. And if they want to push this, since it was over state lines and wiretapping, it could become a federal offense, and he could be charged.
But how is this any different than Jehovah's Witnesses self-appointing themselves as the mouthpiece, Jesus's faithful and discreet shepherds? So how is this any different than, the governing body self-appointing themselves as the faithful and discreet slave, and this knucklehead self-appointing himself as an independent journalist?
Yeah.
It's all one and the same because the mindset dictates this.
Yeah, and they're seeking a lot of money for damages. So...
Yeah. Expect a GoFundMe soon.
Yeah. All right, switching gears here now. Now, we covered this years ago in a video. The Fresno County Sheriff's Department raided a Kingdom Hall, and they arrested a suspected child abuser. And I'm going to put the link down below to this article. This was January 17, 2022. And the reason I bring this up is I want to thank Abel Perez. Since it happens to be in the same county his court cases are going on, he told me how to get these documents. It is case number F219-03676, and I will put the link down below, and I will show you how to go get this information.
Yeah, public information.
All right, so you go to the Fresno Courts California.gov link that I put down below, and you will see the Superior Court of Fresno, and then right here you will see case information. Click on that, and then access case information, view now, and then down here you see smart search. Click on that. Okay, and then you can either enter the name or the case number, which is F21903676. I'm not a robot. Submit. Okay, you see the case comes up, Anthony Emmanuel Escobedo. Click on that, and all this information comes up. Now, you can scroll down, look at his basically rap sheet. That is a lot of charges. And look at, some of them go clear back to 2006. 2006. The elders knew that he was abusing kids. His bond was set at $805,000. Look at all of these charges. This is disgusting. But you can scroll down. There's a lot here. But the recent case is that there's going to be a hearing January 23rd, 2025. And let's hope that the survivors can get some justice. Wow. So anyway, going to be some interesting court hearings in January.
Well, I can just imagine some in this ex-Jehovah's Witness community are now going to go after us because we're putting this out there. Why are you embarrassing Mark ODonnell like this? No, the chump embarrassed himself by doing this. He embarrassed himself. Don't deflect on what this guy has done, because this whole world is nothing but a whole bunch of people deflecting from what's right in front of their face and putting it on to someone else.
Yeah.
Again, this is why.
They like to attack the messenger.
Exactly. And this is why, for me, for the large part, has just backed away from this, because it's too much. One person can only take so much of these people deflecting back onto you.
Yeah.
When it's not true, or someone's taking you out of context or something to that effect.
Yeah. And there's some orders. All factual discovery on the O'Donnell case shall be completed on or before April 22nd, 2025. Positive motion shall be filed on or before May 9th, 2025. Motions in limine are due September 3rd, 2025. So it looks like they're going to be going
for a while
to, and in one of the documents, he has demanded a jury trial. And I don't know if that's a good idea, because juries, you know, if the judge explains the laws and what, you know, is going on properly, he could be in big trouble.
That's the operative word. Properly.
Properly.
We have evidence in New York that judges are no longer applying the laws properly when it comes to instructing jury members.
Well, look at in the PDS case.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a jury trial, but the judge improperly or failed completely to follow the law herself. And you know what's interesting about this case here, this other case in Fresno, and if I forgot to mention, his name was Anthony Emmanuel Escobedo. What's interesting is the judge in his case just happens to be the father-in-law of the judge in the lower court in the PDS case. You just can't make this stuff up.
Nope. Can't make it up no more.
Can't make it up. So hopefully this judge, you know, the senior judge here in this Escobedo case, won't be as lenient and make their own rules, his own rules, like his daughter-in-law did. Oy vey. So thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you and everything you do very much. You know, thank you to everybody who's been sending me information. We appreciate all of you. And welcome to all our new subscribers, and thank you for all you other subscribers that have been with this channel from the beginning.
And the M&Ms.
And the M&Ms, oh yeah. Gonna need those, because...
Well, I think 2025 is going to be as much of an eye-opener as 2024 was, and there was a lot of stuff a lot of stuff that hit the fan in 2024, and I mean a lot.
Yeah. For the past several years, there's been a lot of stuff coming to light. And like I said at the beginning, all of this should be a lesson for all of us. There's some things that I see people posting and doing videos, especially XJWs, and it's like, oh my God, they really shouldn't be doing that. Well, look at Snarky Bill. He was one of the first YouTube videos we started watching when we woke up. He's never been a JW. He was a preacher with the Midwest Outreach, I believe. And he started doing videos against Watchtower. Well, he started putting up screenshots of elders' letters and elders' manuals. And we told him, no, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to get in trouble. Well, his channel got taken down.
Yeah.
Yeah, those elders' letters, that's why they quit putting the letterhead at the top, because they know we're getting them leaked to us.
Yeah.
But you notice I never put the screenshots, the full screenshots of the whole elders' letter up. I do anonymous file shares, because you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, well, some are just destined to learn the hard way. Simple as that.
And O'Donnell better hope and wish that they don't have criminal charges filed against him, because wiretapping and violating the client-attorney privilege.
Well, ultimately, even if nothing becomes of this, look at the black eye this gives us. Look at what Watchtower can use against us, and not only that, he's going to live with this for the rest of his life. He ain't going to have a clean conscience. His freedom of speech, to quote Watchtower, is gone.
Well, not only that, but look at what it does to his credibility.
Yeah.
All those documentaries that he was the go-to, Messiah, Savior, and look at what I've done, and I've done this, and I've done that. Well, that's kind of shot his credibility to hell.
He's going to have to live with it.
Yeah.
He's going to have to live with it.
And even when he was, bragging about being in possession of the stolen documents in that documentary and on social media, it's like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good, because you can be charged. This is a crime. They're stolen documents. You hand them over to the police and shut your mouth. Well, look at him and him and some of the others in the boys' club got in trouble after the ICSA UK commission, because after Paul Gillies' testimony, they did a post on social media. We just handed Gillies' head to you on a silver platter. They got in trouble with that, and then that gave Watchtower the ammunition to go cry to the commission and cry foul.
Some will never learn.
No.
Some will not. I just got to sit here and just laugh internally at the TDS. It's just total dipshittery.
Yeah.
If you want to be number one, then don't brag about it. Just sit back and do what you got to do quietly. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing.
And think before you post stuff.
I know
publicly.
You have handed stuff over quietly to help investigations, but you don't hear us bragging about it.
Yeah.
We don't need to be number one to stroke our egos. We don't need to brag about doing this or brag about doing that to add context to our lives. We already have context in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, something to think about, and if nothing else, just a little bit of wisdom from somebody who's been around and seen this for a long, long, long time.
If only, right? If only they knew.
Yeah.
If only they knew.
Yeah.
You just got to know when to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. And if you post anything publicly about an ongoing investigation, whether it's just a court, a state doing an investigation, whatever, keep your mouth shut, because you will ruin that investigation and case. Because if nothing else, you give Watchtower a heads up. I know. And who's a simple-minded one?
Who's the simpletons now? We're just sitting back laughing inside at the TDS. It's just total dipshittery. And Kim and I have called this crap out years ago about those that want to be number one. You'll step over people. You'll go out of your way to destroy XJW YouTube channels. All for what? To have all the money flow in your directions by patrons, and then when something like you get caught going to, I don't know, Thailand, or getting caught with this, is it all worth it? Just to be number one? To step over people? To crush people down just to be number one? What is it that the Bible says? He that is standing, beware that you don't fall, or
pride before a fall.
Or he who wants to be first will be last. I mean, there's wisdom in those words. Old Confucius say, come on, people.
And like I always say, the universe has a way of what goes around comes around. Karma is a bitch.
Karma's a bitch.
Yes.
Especially when she's sitting on Mikey's left shoulder. And believe me when I say this rant, if you want to call it a rant, has been really subdued. I was given the word to subdue it.
So sit there and eat your M&Ms.
Yep.
Yeah.
And be quiet.
So in case we don't see you in the next few days, have a wonderful weekend. We love you. And be careful out there, guys. Just think before you say or do something or post something. I know of several who have lost their channels because of stuff they've done videos on.
I was just going to say, or do a podcast with somebody that's got sensationalized news.
Yeah.
You just may lose your channel for that stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, when this all happened with this original podcast, people were sending it to me and saying, is this true? Is this true? Mm-hmm. And I'm watching this, and I grabbed the clips from when he said it, and I'm like, oh my God, this isn't good. This isn't good.
Meanie, tickle.
Yeah, because that couple could lose their channel, because if the court or investigators or whatever, if anybody goes after them for having this podcast, they could lose their channel too.
Well, it would be evidence.
Yeah.
It would be evidence.
Yeah, it is part of evidence.
Information.
Yeah, it is part of the evidence, because
boneheads.
Jehovah's Witnesses are watching YouTube videos.
They are.
They are watching YouTube videos. The Perez family has been watching my videos about their court case.
Yeah.
So what makes you think the Watchtower doesn't watch all of what's, the XJW community is doing? They're just waiting to pounce on any of us with the least little bit of, information or rumors or evidence that we may put out. That's why I say, make sure it is public court documents, public media articles.
Makes you wonder what was going through the minds of the Perez family when they got a load of me.
Well, they're mad at me. They've actually mentioned me by name and our channel by name in their court documents.
Yeah. But there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
Because that's public information.
Yeah. Just like I showed, you can go to the Fresno County, court website and just put in names or court case, and the information comes up.
There's just too much TDS going around. Just way too much of it.
Yeah, just like the Pennsylvania court documents. They tell you to go to the Pacer, website to get court documents, and it is available. So O'Donnell, dumbass. Maybe we should change his name to Oh Dumbass.
Oh dumbass.
Oh dumbass.
Well, this is what happens when you want to become number one. This is what happens.
Yeah. You all have a great weekend. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.